Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Continuing on with the conversation with Tszyu and what happened. Well, let me tell you this, right? I see a lot of people are saying that the presence of a father at ringside, in the corner, in a camp, should not be allowed. Now, this is something that had come up before. I think it was Tim Bradley. I can't remember who was saying this, but they don't think fathers should be allowed in the corner. Something along those lines, right? I remember reading the article and disagreeing, wholeheartedly disagreeing about precluding fathers from being in the son's corners. Now, the reason this conversation it came up is because there's some fans who feel like Tszyu was on the path to success and on the path to getting a big win in Florida this past weekend when he faced Murtazaliev. But his father unexpectedly and surprisingly showed up. And as a result, it created distractions. Although it brought joy to the Tszyu camp, it's like they had a premature celebration as a result of Costa Tszyu's arrival, as if Tszyu had already defeated Murtazaliev and became champion. Now, I agree that maybe there was some distraction with Costa Tszyu being there. I agree that there had been some premature celebration going on. But I don't agree with boxing fans saying Costa Tszyu should have never been allowed to show up there in the camp, be part of the fight week activities, and to not be allowed to be ringside. Like, I just don't. What does that have to do with anything? And conversely, what would have been the downside of if Costa Tszyu didn't show up? So I guess we'll never know. But I don't really understand the argument. I think it's pointless. I think it's weightless. And I just don't think it's a tenable talking point. Anyway, what I think happened here with Tszyu is, like I said before, when I sit back and look at it, right, because I already talked about Murtazaliev as just a killer, okay, and being paid to step aside money. Now that I sit here, man, in retrospect, and I think about Tszyu after Fundora, it seemed like he got a little bit of disappointment, thinking he'd be back in the ring sooner. Doctor didn't clear him. Of course, I looked at that a little bit weird. I was like, hey, they're either trying to railroad Tszyu or they got some bigger and better plans and they're just pushing his return date back because they're trying to line the stars up for him to win a big fight and get a title. I didn't see it as the cut on his head hadn't fully healed up. But I'm not a physician, so what do I know? I believe in conspiracy theories. I love talking about that shit because it makes the conversation, I think, liven up. But in addition to not returning as soon as he wanted, then I noticed his dad was showing up now. And Tszyu is happy. His dad's working with him. But like, oh man, Tszyu's going to come back, man, better than ever. He got the great Costa Tszyu back in his life in training. Some shit about being in Thailand. I'm like, what the hell? Man, in Thailand, then he in the United States, about to buy a house in the United States. That's a lot of moving around. How focused can you be when you're kind of being jostled around like that? And not somewhere settled down, locked in, and working diligently towards your goal, which is becoming champion. I understand with Tszyu that he brings a country with him. I understand he's highly marketable. And I think he should continue to be marketable. But, some of these boxing fans feel like Tim was a hype job. Somebody saying, it was all smoke and mirrors, man. He went out here fighting Tony Harrison, who was a bum, fighting Mendoza and Ocampo. Those guys were bums. They put him in super small rings to make Tszyu look like something he wasn't. As soon as he stepped up against a top level opponent, he got exposed. I can understand the person who watches Tim's last 4 fights and how they have arrived to that conclusion. Remember, I don't agree with it, but I can understand, right? I don't agree with that dude. I see it differently because a person could say, well, hey, he did this to these 3, got in it with Fundora, he lost, and now he fought this guy, he got knocked out. So there was poor matchmaking is what this person's saying. But to that person, you know what I got to say to him is, sir, I kindly request in the most respectful way that you hold your horses and stop taking it to the goddamn stupid. Tszyu got exposed. He didn't get fucking exposed. Tszyu got in the ring with someone who he thought he could just steamroll. Tszyu got in the ring looking to prove a point and just get a big knockout out there in the Tszyu SA, as he calls it, and hoping that would set him up for even bigger fights of Crawford and Spencer Charlo. So whatever they planned on in training camp, Tszyu felt, you know what? This is my opportunity to seal the deal and really help my profile grow exponentially. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way. But understand this too, man. You look at Anthony Joshua. He came over to the United States. Eddie Hearn, the biggest mouth in boxing. Anthony Joshua, blah, 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 gonna do this. Take over the USA, New York, Madison Square Garden. Anthony Joshua. Got his ass into with Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz turned that motherfucker into an English burrito, didn't he? He Taco Bell'd his ass all around the ring. He put the goddamn Mexican-American beans on him. Packed all kind of sour cream and guacamole in AJ's English ass. Just ruined him. Sprinkled salsa, pico de gallo all on his ass. Took a big-ass cup of Horacha and splashed it on that motherfucker, didn't he? Because AJ came over, underestimated his opponent, and AJ got away from the game plan and said, I'm going to come out here and look for the big knockout because I want to make sure my profile in America grows exponentially, and I want to outdo Deontay Wilder's last performance. Because Deontay Wilder had clipped Brazil, AJ wanted to come and get Ruiz out of there earlier, probably in the same round as Wilder, or if not, earlier in the first round. Didn't work out that way. And I think Tszyu had on his mind the same kind of thing. Let me get this guy out of here in the United States, get him out of here quicker than what, get him out of the way Terrence Crawford wasn't able to do against Madrimov. Let me get him out of here the way Virgil Ortiz wasn't able to do against Bohachuk. Because there's a commonality there with Tszyu, with Crawford, and with Ortiz. Those 3 guys fought 3 Eastern European opponents, and those Eastern European opponents were putting the bing-bings on those guys. Tszyu definitely, I think he had a chance to win that fight. He didn't clinch, and let me tell you something. You know what fuck happened with Tszyu in there? Same thing happened with goddamn Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis. Bing, bing, left, right. Bing, bing, left, right. Okay, you threw the shit twice. What happened again? Bing, bing, counter. You're throwing the goddamn same combination 3-4 times in a row. And Murtazalia picked up on it and saw the punches coming. He said, okay, this guy's going to throw a fucking 1-2. Bing, bing, catch it. Okay, he's going to throw the next one. Bing, boom. Just throw the hook. When you set up that shot like that, you just throw the hook. You're not waiting, feel the contact, see what he does, and shoot. No. You know it's some risk that you have to accept. Some risk that you have to assume when they're throwing that combination. So he's noticed already that this is Tim's go-to combination. 1-2. 1-2. And then he started catching and started timing. Oh, okay, that's what the fuck he's going to throw. He's not throwing a hook behind it. He's not fake jab, uppercut. He's not doing nothing. His thing is 1-2. Murtazalia picked up on that. He says a 90% chance he's only going to throw a 1-2. So, and when he's watching that hand, he's not bringing that right hand all the way back. And that's where he got caught. That's where Tszyu fucked up. But again, Tszyu, I think, got the worst side of the fucking of the stick, the worst end of the stick as far as facing an Eastern European fighter. Then Virgil Ortiz, to me, he got his ass beat in that fight. That's my opinion. A lot of people don't agree. But Virgil Ortiz didn't win that fucking fight to me. So Bohachuk put the bing bings on Virgil Ortiz. And Crawford and Madrimov would have let his hands through 10 more punches around. He would have beat Crawford. But he didn't. And Crawford outworked him, stayed active, stayed busy. Same thing with Bertabiev and Bivol. That Crawford and Madrimov shit, very similar. Crawford just let his hands go more. He let his hands go more, and he did hurt Madrimov. But if you ask me, with Tszyu and him returning, should his dad be involved? Keep in mind, we're thinking about what happened here in Florida. I think Tszyu should train with his dad. Whatever he wants to do with his team, whatever. Let his dad take control. Go fucking train in Russia. His dad still has all them connections. His dad he's Tszyu. He's a national treasure. Take Tszyu up to Russia. Put that motherfucker through the next 6 months. Let him recover because he got the shit beat out of him, right? I think I even seen some brain matter. So Tszyu got in the ring with Fundora and left brain matter in the ring from the elbow. Got there with Murtazaliev, and Murtazaliev beat the shit out of him and left. And again, brain matter was left scattered all in the ring. But once he heals up, he should go to Russia, live and train with his dad. I know you got a family and all that. No, take them with you. Them dudes are millionaires, right? Multi-millionaires. Go to Russia. Live out there for a goddamn 6 months to a year. Train out there. Fight from out there. And let's see what happens. I guarantee you Tszyu will be a different animal. And you know what? Basically, he's going out there and getting the training that all these Eastern European fighters are. I mean, he's from that cloth. He's got the blood in him. Go to Russia and learn those styles. I'm not saying you just overhaul everything you have, but they're going to add some more tools to his toolbox. And then when he comes out now, man, he's already able to construct the shed with the tools he has, but he can get the job done more efficiently with these new tools they're going to give him. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he's doing everything manually. A saw, screwdriver. Out there, he's getting power tools. Zip, 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 zip. Motherfucker, Tszyu needs some power tools if he's going to continue, plodding along here in the 154-pound division. Because he can't get in there with guys. I'm going to tell you right now. Left hook, that 1-2 shit he was doing, whatever went wrong with Tszyu, right? Because I think Tszyu's a great fighter. But whatever went wrong with Tim, he can't do that against Bohachuk. He can't do that against Virgil Ortiz. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Virgil Ortiz right now, if Tszyu's going to fight like that, Virgil Ortiz will beat him. Can't get hit with them hooks, man. He fight Terrence Crawford, I think Tszyu going to be in trouble. Jamel Charlo, all those guys, I think Tszyu will be in trouble. Because it's not that Tszyu he's a solid fighter, but man, something happened. But let's see what happens when they come back. Hopefully they don't do him like they did Deontay Wilder after Wilder lost to Parker and threw Wilder in with Zhang. Like, don't take Tszyu and throw him in there with Madrimov. Like, don't do nothing crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't come now and have him decide I want to go to 160 for another title opportunity since at 154 I lost twice. And they say, hey, Janabek Alimkhanuly needs a fight. Tim, we'll give you a title opportunity here since you can't get that at 154 since you've been set back 2 years as a result of losing to Murtazaliev. And they throw his ass in there with Janabek Alimkhanuly. Like, don't do that. Y'all want to get the man killed? Nah, sit back. Maybe an Erickson a little bit. Maybe find somebody at 154. Let him, get his feet back underneath him, get a win. But I think Tszyu and his dad, that's a good thing, a positive thing. But I think it's time for this man to go on out there to Russia and learn and train with his dad. If not, with the coaches out there, the connections his dad has, it's time to help your son out because Tszyu, his career is in a downward spiral. And if his punch resistance has been affected, if his jaw isn't still there, if he has PTSD from the cut, whatever it is, I think through the training camps out there, especially in Russia, it'll be identified. And maybe they can rectify it. If not, that'd be a good opportunity for Tszyu to tell his son, look, if you're not going to be committed to letting your hands go because you're worried about getting hit or cut, you probably don't need to do this no more. And when you have 1 foot outside of boxing and 1 foot inside boxing, that means you really really should retire. But anyway, let's see what happens with Tszyu. I still think he has some big wins left in him. But I'm concerned when you're seeing somebody making the mistakes he was making and getting hit like that. Yeah, he just wanted to outdo the other guys at 154. He just wanted to come and get the big knockout. And he landed some good shots, but his poor decision making inside that ring is not his dad's, as a result of his dad's presence. All right, that's not the case. Anyway, keep cool. I'm in the breeze.